Imagine this: a beneficiary walks into a bank with a demand for payment under a bank guarantee. The documents look perfect, my dear friends, everything complies. But the bank asks one question: where is your statement of default? Where is your written explanation on what the contractor actually did wrong? The beneficiary has no answer. The demand fails. Not because the documents were incorrect, but because one critical piece was missing. This is Article 15, my dear friends, and in international trade, one missing document can cost you millions. Welcome back to English Trade Bites, your article by article series on URDG 758, the ICC's Uniform Rules for Demand Guarantees. I'm Ravneet, and if you're joining me for the first time, subscribe right now to Ravneet Knowledge Bites YouTube channel and explore the English Trade Bites playlist. All earlier episodes are right there waiting for you. Today we are on Article 15, Requirements for Demand. And this article is the rule that sits at the intersection of two competing forces: beneficiary protection versus the applicant protection. Article 15 establishes one core rule: every demand must include two things. First, whatever documents the guarantee specifically requires, and second, a signed statement from the beneficiary explaining exactly how and in what way the applicant has breached his obligations. The second part is mandatory, not optional, not suggested, mandatory. Even if the guarantee does not explicitly ask for it, Article 15 requires it. Let us break this down into key components using Rahul's story. If you are a new viewer, let me tell you that in the entire series, my dear viewers, I have taken a hypothetical example. Mr. Rahul is the owner of Buildrite Constructions, a Mumbai-based company in India, and he has undertaken a construction contract with the UAE Government Authority at UAE. And also, we've assumed that Axis Bank India is the banker of Buildrite Constructions, and Axis Bank has issued a performance guarantee in favor of the UAE Authority for Rahul's Buildrite Constructions project. Now, the UAE Authority believes that Buildrite in India has defaulted on its obligations, so the UAE Authority is ready to make a demand on this guarantee. What must they present? The documents the guarantee specifies, perhaps a progress certificate or a site inspection certificate or whatever the guarantee text requires, but beyond those documents, the UAE Authority must also provide a signed statement from their authorized representative saying, we are making this demand because Buildrite Constructions has failed to complete the work by the agreed date, or because the work quality is substandard, or because safety protocols were violated. Whatever the specific failure is, the statement must articulate it clearly. The beneficiary cannot simply demand payment without saying why. Now, Article 15 gives flexibility on format. That breach statement can be written directly into the demand letter itself, or it can be a separate signed document attached to the demand. Either works as long as it is signed and as long as it is specific. This flexibility matters in practice. Sometimes a breach flows naturally into the demand narrative. Sometimes it is cleaner as a separate document. Article 15 accommodates both approaches because what matters is the substance and not the format or the form. Here is a critical point many people miss. What if the guarantee text explicitly says no breach statement required? Then Article 15 does not apply to that guarantee. But, and this is a crucial but, the exclusion must be expressed and explicit. A guarantee that simply stays silent on breach statements does not exclude the requirement. The default rule under URDG 758 is that Article 15 applies. To opt out, you must say so plainly in the guarantee text. This protects beneficiaries from ambiguity and applicants from hidden traps. Now, for the technical requirements, the demand and the breach statement cannot be dated before the beneficiary was entitled to present them, and neither can be dated later than the day they are actually presented. These rules prevent fraud. They stop a beneficiary from backdating a demand to manufacture compliance with deadlines or from creating documents that do not match reality. The dates must be honest, my dear friends. So here is the deeper question: why does this requirement exist at all? We already established in Article 6 that banks only examine documents, not facts. The bank does not investigate whether the work was actually done badly or not done at all. The bank does not visit the site. The bank does not judge commercial reality. So why require this statement? The answer is about balance. Yes, The bank is independent and document focused, but the beneficiary cannot have unlimited power to call on a guarantee whenever they want. There has to be some accountability, and Article 15 creates that accountability by requiring the beneficiary to formally declare a breach. They cannot hide behind ambiguity. They cannot make a silent claim. They must articulate specifically what went wrong. This serves multiple purposes. It forces the beneficiary to think through their claim before presenting it. It gives the applicant something concrete to potentially challenge. It creates a paper trail that is transparent and verifiable, and it prevents casual or frivolous demands. For Rahul as an applicant, this is a real protection. If the UAE authority submits a breach statement that is verifiably false or absurd, Rahul can contest it. If they claim he failed to perform when the work is actually complete, Rahul has grounds to push back. The bank still pays based on document compliance, but Rahul is not defenseless against clearly dishonest claims. So to bring it together, my dear friends, Article 15 is where the guarantee system acknowledges a simple truth. Banks cannot be commercial judges, but demands cannot be arbitrary either. Every demand must be accompanied by the required documents and by a signed statement from the beneficiary specifying the breach. That statement can be embedded in the demand or presented separately. The guarantee can exclude this requirement only through explicit language. The dates must be accurate. This requirement protects applicants from fraudulent or baseless demands while maintaining the independence of the guarantee. It ensures that beneficiaries cannot make blind claims. They must articulate specifically what went wrong. That is Article 15, Requirements for Demand Unpacked. If the series is adding value to your trade finance knowledge, my dear friends, please like this video and share it with a colleague. Subscribe to my channel, Ravneet Knowledge Bites, if you haven't done that. The full URDG 758 series is live on the English Trade Bites playlist, article by article, and we're just getting started. See you in the next one. Thank you.